So, into Godzilla territory here with Godzilla and Kong, really. We found out that the film had been pushed back to November of this year as opposed to coming out in March.
Right.
So, apparently this was...
If it's pushed back, it only gives them more time to make it better. To be honest, it can be pushed back as long as it needs, as long as it comes out right.
True, but this is a bit concerning for me because it does... I guess with Godzilla King of the Monsters, what did you think of that movie when you saw it for the first time?
So it's a big spectacle. It's a spectacle of a film. Everything is very, very obviously like amazingly done cinematically. Story-wise, you know, is the best you can do really with big monsters like that. I mean, they did the best that they could do, I feel like, with the writing of that. It's just kind of a film about big monsters, a big monster film. It's like the Kaiju, there's so many different ones, and it was all about Godzilla being the king of them, and obviously having its threats, you know, having its battles. Kong wasn't in it because he's still a little baby boy, and he's got to grow so that he can fight Godzilla, because Godzilla towers over him at the moment in terms of size. But they did say in the Kong film that he's not fully grown yet.
Yeah.
So at least we've got something to look forward to where King Kong's going to be bigger. But other than that, like, it was a spectacle of a film. It was great to watch. It was great to watch massive monsters smashed at each other's faces in. But that's all it was at the end of the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the problem with the film I had was that the human story, which is kind of like a given with a lot of kaiju movies these days, well, I say these days, but with the genre in general, is that the human story doesn't always work well. And in this case, I think, because I think I did a video on this last year, but the problem I had with the movie was that the human story just felt tacked on.
Well, I actually hate it. I remember the human story now. I forgot there were humans in it. That's how bad it was. The mum was so stupid. Oh my god, everything was so stupid in that film. Like, from the human's point of view. Like,
I just think that what they should have done is they should have just continued the story from the first film and kept Bryan Cranston's character alive. Again, I think I talked about this in the video I made, but I think having that connective tissue and carrying that story over would have made more sense. Because the problem with Godzilla vs. Kong is you've got all these monsters, then you've got all this big slew of new characters you've got to latch onto with the first few minutes of the movie, and literally the first scene we see of King of the Monsters, we literally see the new main characters, and then it cuts to the next scene, and that in just like those few seconds, like minutes at least, you've got to know you know their backstory, their origins or whatever, you know the reasons why they are now, and that's not enough time to really get to know them as characters. Yeah. And the rest of the movie just happens, and it's like you're following this dad for the rest of the movie, and you can understand his motivation, but you haven't really been with him long enough to really care. And I think I had a more stronger connection with Bryan Cranston than this guy, and yeah. I just worry things they should have been continuing rather than.
Maybe it's a difference in acting skills. Bryan Cranston's a very good actor.
No, I just think that with the first film. It took its time showing up the characters before you even saw Godzilla,
yeah.
Which was a complaint that people had with that movie. But I also think that was good. That was a good advantage because that gave them room for the sequels to do more monster stuff. And the human story, while it didn't need to be full front and center, it could have continued, and you could have had the setup there and the groundwork to continue on. But because they chose to basically bring a new cast in, I just think that they didn't have enough time, or they didn't have enough time really to set everything up believably,
yeah.
Or with enough time to really make you care.
There were a lot of monsters in it that they had to fit in. It was nice to see Mothra. Not gonna lie, it was very nice to see Mothra. Mothra's not been on screen for a very long time.
Yeah, I will say the monsters are, of course, the highlight. What else would you expect?
Well, yeah, I mean, good. If the humans were the highlight, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I do think that they effed up a lot with the human stuff, especially when certain characters being killed.
Just wasn't really needed. It was drama that was just not really needed.
Yeah.
To be honest, it should have been the humans working together, being like, so there's these crazy monsters that are unkillable, and they're destroying everything because they're just battling it out to be king of the monsters. Where are we on the food chain again? Should we try and make ourselves a place, or should we just get the fuck off this planet now? Like, the humans, like, at one point where they shot I think it was hydrogen bombs or oxygen bombs.
Yeah.
On they were trying to hit the one of the monsters Godzilla was fighting. What was
King Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah. and they ended up hitting Godzilla because King Ghidorah moved out of the way or something. Or they hit both and it didn't really affect King Ghidorah, but it affected Godzilla. Like, it would be interesting to see the humans just being like, I guess Godzilla is good to them, because Godzilla's trying to just like keep order in the world.
Yeah, and that's the aspect.
He should have been trying to kill the humans because they're fucking up the world, not them monsters.
Yeah, I do think that part of the film was good, but the main problem really was just that the rest of the human stuff just didn't really. It took away from it.
It would be great if, like, after the entire fight, the Godzilla goes back into the water and gets like one of those like 6-pack cans stuck around his neck and chokes and dies. Oh. And then and then the film will be like, let's clean our oceans, boys.
Oh god. Oh, don't come down to us, god damn it.
He just swallows a plastic can and dies. Plastic can, that was a bit counterintuitive. I meant plastic bottle, but yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I just think that the film wasn't as good as it could have been, but with Godzilla vs Kong,
it was a spectacle. It's great to watch, fun to watch, I think.
Yeah, but I think with Godzilla vs Kong, if they can pull it off, because again, if these reshoots are an indication, as you said, they're probably going to just try and tweak the movie, make it more better. I hope that is the case. I hope they have an idea of what they want the story to be, and it's going to be, a good movie. But at the same time, I'm just a bit concerned because, again, when you delay a movie for this long, especially when it was meant to come out as early as like March, it does kind of leave me concerned with how late are you leaving this in the game? Is this going to be a Star Wars effect where you change the entire movie and it doesn't work like Solo, or it's hopefully going to be on the win side where it's like Rogue One, where you can see the flaws, but the rest of the movie is good enough that you can just accept it as it is. But
well, if they did make this film, like, who would they make win?
That's actually the other thing I want to ask you, because who do you think should be the winner? Because I think that... I agree, Godzilla vs Kong, you've got to get a winner, but at the same time you don't want to anger each side of the fan base, because they've all got their own preference on who should be the victor.
Well, Godzilla is like King of the Monsters. Like, as King of the Monsters, he should win. King Kong is a giant monkey. Like... Sure, he's a heavy hitter and he's very smart, but Godzilla has like radioactive fire breath or something. King Kong doesn't really have any abilities, so I don't know, apart from being a giant gorilla. Like, King Kong doesn't really deserve to win, but like I feel like they just wouldn't make any of them win, and instead they'll go against the humans, or like. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be one of those bullshit endings where it's like they tie a knot in something and be like, "Yeah, that's all done," and then it didn't really make any sense at all.
Probably because allegedly, if rumors are to be believed, apparently this one's going to include Mechagodzilla.
Mechagodzilla.
Yes. And
this film can only be amazing now. I hope Mechagodzilla wins, man. I hope fucking like. Pacific Rim people come in and they're like, right, kaijus, let's kill them.
I will say, if this is true, that means they're likely going to go the Batman vs Superman route, where they just have the two team up to fight the robot.
I feel like that's the only thing they're going to do.
Yeah, and considering how the post-credit scene teased Mecha King Ghidorah, or the potential for Mecha King Ghidorah to come along as well, maybe that could be true, but
why would you make a Mecha King Ghidorah?
Because it'll basically be King Ghidorah, but with a metal body and one normal head.
But by the humans, right?
Yeah.
So the humans will be controlling all the mechas.
Yeah, the idea would be...
Maybe the humans will be like, right, these two monsters are fighting for supremacy. We're going to build Mecha Godzilla, yeah? We're going to come fuck them up, and we're going to be king of the monsters.
Yeah, I think that's the idea of the concept, that certain humans want to be the dominant species, so they create something that's superior to the apex.
But then it'll be Godzilla and King Kong versus Mecha Godzilla and Mecha Ghidorah.
And again, Batman for Superman thing, maybe they're going to try and manipulate it so that everyone thinks it's Godzilla. So King Kong, vice versa, also thinks, yeah, you're attacking me, or you're attacking my territory.
It is like Batman versus Superman, isn't it? Because like fucking Superman's strength is Godzilla type similarities, whereas King Kong is a bit more Batman. Like, he doesn't really have too much of a chance of winning, except he could outsmart him.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I think Godzilla, and why I get to my verdict here, I think King Kong should be the one to win, at least the one to be winning before, if the mecha stuff is to be true,
that would be very.
He comes along and they both team up.
We've seen Godzilla win loads of fights. Now it's time for King Kong to get his glory.
Yeah, because I also think that again, while there's examples from King of the Monsters alone, Godzilla has enough firepower to obliterate King Kong. But at the same time, I think Kong has the smartness. He's a bit more smart. He's got more intelligence level.
Yeah.
Compared to Godzilla.
He uses weapons.
Yeah, he's got more agility. He's basically got more advantages on the human side to evade Godzilla's attacks, which is why I think he has more of a chance to at least beat him in a fight, to the point where, in the spirit of Batman v Superman, not the movie, the concept alone, where Batman can outsmart his foes, so King Kong could outsmart Godzilla to the point where he's beaten him enough to say, yeah, I'm just as equal to you or better, and then they can do the mecha stuff where he comes in to fight, and they can then say, yeah, we need to team up here because we can't fight
each
alone.
one will have their winning moments. Each one will have their winning moments. Do you know what will happen? I can call it now. Godzilla will start beating King Kong. King Kong might grab a weapon or something, or outsmart him in some way and start beating him back. Godzilla will use his fire breath and start winning again, and then the humans will get involved. Then they'll team up, and then they'll fight Mecha Godzilla and Mecha whatever the fuck long neck dragon bitch, and they'll start fighting them together, and then they'll both be like, do you know what? We're both the kings.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you're all our bitches.
He's literally called King Kong, whereas in the other film, like, he was called Kong. Where did the king come from?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe this could be the film that gives him the king mantle.
Maybe.
Yeah, and
maybe Godzilla steps down from King of the Monsters. Maybe it was just like, fine, you're strong enough. Do you know what? You can be the alpha now. I'm gonna go sleep.
Yeah, I need some retirement. I've done this for 50 years. Give me a break, goddammit.
Sleeps in the water in Jamaica's.
He's on the beach with sunglasses, drinking. Yeah. Hey, Mothra, how you enjoying retirement?
Oh no! No, Mothra, don't go into the light.
But yeah, we'll see with the Versus movie. I'm going to hold out hope that it's good, because I do love the brand. I think the MonsterVerse, despite some of its flaws and how it's been handled, I still enjoyed King Skull Island, and I enjoyed a lot of the good stuff they had with King of the Monsters. So with regards to the future of the series, what do you think we can expect maybe beyond Godzilla vs. Kong? Because I think for sure we've got to have another Godzilla film, a third film to cap off his trilogy per se. And I would hope that they would do another King Kong movie, and maybe do something different beyond the Skull Island stuff. Because I enjoyed Skull Island, but there's only so many Kong films they've done that have just had them be on the island or have him bring back to New York and he dies.
Do you know what might be cool? All the other Godzilla is like, the order gets like messed up. Like, you know how it does in the Godzilla film, where someone is fighting Godzilla for the title of king, and all the monsters go a bit crazy because they don't really know what's happening. All the other monsters around the world, what if like the humans do something and they all go crazy and start destroying lots of human cities, and Godzilla and King Kong have to split up and beat them all, like, into submission? Like, King Kong would be fun to go watch fight all the other monsters. Like that giant mammoth one we saw.
Yeah.
Like, that would be a cool fight. I have never seen that one on screen. I don't think. I don't know many of the kaiju. I know like Mothra, the lots of headed dragon ones, Godzilla, obviously, a couple others that I can't put names to, but like, there's lots of ones you could do which could make cool fights if you just get them involved. Maybe King Kong will go off and fight all them, and Godzilla will be like, excuse me, what are you doing? And then he'll fight him. You know, who knows?
Yeah, I think that I would love to see them do a third film for Godzilla, mostly just because I love trilogies. But Kong, I would hope they would do something different. Maybe give him a different setting, a different cast. Because I think they should do some carryover from Skull Island, but I think the big idea would be that they would give a new setting for Kong to thrive in, especially after Godzilla vs. Kong.
Well, he's gotten too big for Skull Island now, so...
And as for branching out for the series, because I think someone has said that they want the series to continue if it's successful, and they can do things beyond the status quo with like the Godzilla brand, the Kong brand. And I actually do hope this means that we can maybe get a Gamera movie one day. Do you know much about Gamera?
I've heard of the monster.
Yeah, in short, he's basically a giant turtle, and he can
Right.
fly.
Awesome.
And he started
So
off
Stephen King's giant flying turtle, basically.
I guess, less godly.
Yeah, that's cool.
But he essentially started off as a Godzilla ripoff, and he spawned his own success and became his own iconic kaiju in his own right. And I haven't seen any of his movies. Well, I've seen the first one in snippets, and I know of his, longevity, I guess. And I know that I mostly know him, if I'm being honest, I mostly know him from Deca Shadow reviews.
Oh, right.
But I'd recommend you guys check those out, they're great. And they kind of give you the gist of it. But I would love to see them do another Gamera movie. And because I think kaiju movies in and of themselves are, in their own way, they're ridiculous, they're silly, they're quite campy.
Well, they're meant to be really over the top, aren't they?
Yeah.
This is giant monsters. How it's meant to be over the top.
Yeah, and I think giving a new monster a shot, especially after laying the groundwork already with the other two films.
Yeah, give us more monsters.
Yeah, give us a Mothra movie. Give us I don't know, whatever that mammoth was called. Give us maybe a backstory to him with another new monster.
Yeah.
But there's endless potential you can do with these stories.
Like I said with the film, just get all the monsters involved. Get more monsters involved. Get that mammoth one involved. I really want to see what he's like. He looks pretty cool. It's just a giant mammoth,
Yeah, and who knows? We could be looking at a slew of new films to come out after Godzilla vs Kong, or Kong vs Godzilla could be the final entry. It could be the Avengers of the series, and it all there. I guess we'll see.
We'll see.